Hi, everybody. I am Dr. LaKisha James, the host of Talks with LaKisha. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for season three. Today is going to be great. I do have an amazing gentleman here that will be showing his expertise. Dr. Joseph Burt Miller. Please forgive me for pronouncing your name, Junior. He is a cybersecurity directorate visionary division chief at the NSA, where his rapid promotion within 1 year of joining reflects his exceptional leadership and technical expertise. A United States Air Force veteran with nearly 20 years of experience in IT and cybersecurity. He has served in critical roles across the Department of Defense and Department of Homeland Security. Welcome, Dr. Joseph. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. Feeling pretty good. How about
Awesome.
you?
You know what? I was thinking before we came on air, when did we meet? I think we met through LinkedIn. We connected through LinkedIn,
Yeah.
and I think it's been what about 2 years or more?
Yeah,
I
at
think.
least, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm
Time's been
very,
time's been going.
listen, I know you've been busy. We have a lot to talk about, so let's go ahead and get started. So my first question would be for you, Dr. Joseph, is what's your why? Why do you do what you do?
That's a great question. Um, I think for me, I think there's a lot of things, but I think the main thing for me is that I'm always looking to how I can improve or how I can get better. And with that, that has transformed over the years because, of course, like with my when I think about like my kids, it's that why has enhanced in a way. Because now as I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm thinking about my kids and how I can help them and as they grow and develop. So for example, like it's with a current project I'm working on with Taloa Cyber. I'm doing that with my two sons, and as they're getting their cyber career started and getting them familiar, of course, just learn the fundamentals, the basics, but just to get them infused in this field and to learn and try to make connections for them and stuff like that. So when we talk about the why, it started from just wanted to just to be great. Honestly, I always want to look for ways how I can improve and get better. And then with that now, as time has gone on, I'm doing it now because I really want to make sure that I'm setting the table for my kids that will that are coming up.
I love it. So how many kids do you have?
I have five in total.
Five girls and
Yeah,
boys.
yeah, yeah. Three girls, two boys.
That's amazing. I think parenting is just so different now. We were younger, there's so many things that our parents did not teach us. And as we get older, we just like, we showed interest in something, our kids are more inclined to follow what we do. But that's amazing that your two boys are having interest in cybersecurity. That's amazing. That's so
Yeah.
amazing. S- So when I was reading your bio, I was like, how can someone be promoted within 1 year of a corporation? So how did you get promoted within 1 year at NSA? That's amazing. I love to hear about it.
I mean, that's nuts, right? No, I think it's really just opportunity, right? Like, so there, when I started with NSA, I came on as a cyber engineer, and during my initial conversation with my supervisor, um, we talked about like what career plans and what I want to do, um, whether it's NSA or beyond. So during that conversation, I told her that I want to become a CISO, and that's a Chief Information Security Officer. So up to this point in time, I have not had formal supervisory experience. So I know it. I couldn't just jump from being an engineer to just straight to that. I do need to, like I said, to work my way through and try to get that experience somehow. So yeah, during those early discussions, she let me know that there was going to be some changes later on down the road within the
Mhm.
organization, and it may open up new positions. So to make sure I'm aware of that. So I was like, okay, just make sure I stay prepared, stay ready. Um, and then of course, fast forward some time, some months, I think at least a year. Um, then these new positions, we had new divisions that were created, and of course, with that, it created new leadership positions. So I was like, all right, this was my shot. So, um, put in for it. Had a great interview, and then my chief, I still remember like it was like a Friday. I was getting ready to go home, and of course, in my mind, I'm anxious and wondering because I didn't hear anything about it yet, right? So I was like, I guess I'm not gonna hear anything today. So I was getting ready to go home, and then I received a meeting invite from my chief, and it was just very vague. It was like I don't know, probably just said meeting or something like that. Just no sort of details, but wants me to be in our office. So I'm like, all right, what is this? You know. Um, then I'm going to my mind like, oh man, maybe she just gonna let me down easy, let me know that I didn't get it or something like that. But I'm just going through every scenario in my brain, just driving myself crazy. And so I go in and I meet with her, and yeah, we had a bit of discussion, but and then she told me that she selected me for the position. So I mean, I nearly busted out tears right there
I
because
bet.
it's no, but it's really and I've shared this before quite a bit, like on my podcast on the Cyber Coffee Hour, like how I got started. And I think one of the things, like for me, growing up in New York, in Mount Vernon, New York, that there weren't a lot of, I mean, there was really no examples of that who looked like me doing this, especially we talking about
Mhm.
working in cybersecurity. I mean, that wasn't even, I know cybersecurity wasn't really a big term back then, but even just talking about, just information security or infosec or anything like that, just not, just wasn't a thing, so
Yeah.
um, so I just think about all of that, and then coming up and the great people who've mentors who've poured their time and who share their wisdom with me and show me just how to grow and how to be better. And I just think about all that coming up, and so to get to that point, and for her to have that trust to see it in me to want to give me the reins for that. Yeah, it was uh a lot of emotions all at once.
I bet. Give it up for the mentors, right? I'm
Yeah.
a mentor myself, and it's like if we didn't have mentors, we would definitely not be where we are today. Of course, God has
Oh,
that journey for us, but people that has paved the way, that's been there, that can get us to where we need to be. It's so amazing. So we're gonna give it up for the mentors. Now,
oh
you
yeah.
did mention you said Cyber Coffee
Yeah,
podcast.
the Cyber
Tell
Coffee
me
Hour.
more about
Yeah.
that. Tell me more
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. Yeah. So started that up, and it's a new year now, right? So
Yeah,
it's been
2026.
like I don't know, probably at least it's at least 4 years now. Well,
Oh
so
wow.
it's
Okay.
it really started up. Well, we're in our third season of the show, but then we started working on it. Me and my co-host, we started working on it at least 2 years before that. So 5 years now with the new year. Um, yeah, and so how that got started, this was actually during when I was working on my dissertation, and during this time I was looking for um people who I could have as who I could interview for my qualitative study. And so a mutual friend of ours that we went to high school with in New York, he told me that Alfredo, who's my co-host, that he let me know that he's working in cybersecurity and he actually lives in the DMV area. So I was like, wow, I didn't even know that. And the reason why, because we just lost connection. It was
Yeah.
I mean, no animosity or anything. It's just after high school, everyone kind of goes their, different
Hmm.
direction, right? So for me, I went straight into the Air Force after that. And yeah, so I haven't talked to Alfredo in years. So I didn't know what he was doing, what he had going on. But anyway, so yeah, so we scheduled, as we linked up, then scheduled the one of the rounds of interviews that I had. It was doing a Delphi study, and when we was having these conversations, I was like, oh man, this is pretty good, man. Like, I think we should try to formalize this somehow. And
Hmm.
so I thought the idea of us doing like a podcast, and he agreed. So I was like, all right, cool. Well, after I finish this dissertation, we'll circle back because all my time has been focused on writing the dissertation. But yeah, so after I finished, um, what end of 2023, I circle back to him and say, hey, you want to remember we talked about doing the podcast? You still want to do it? And he was like, yeah. So yeah, and then we just started working, because I think for us, we just seeing like the actual landscape of, when it comes to like cybersecurity, maybe media, podcasts, what have you. You're seeing a lot. We would see a lot of, there wasn't that much relatability, meaning like you didn't hear a lot of stories about, especially like black and brown people,
Mm-hmm.
being featured. But then also too, it's you would hear more of like the executive roles, those who are sitting in executive roles like CIOs or CTOs or CISOs. And it's not me bashing because of course me myself, I want to be a CISO, but
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, I know that's not the full story. You didn't start out there. Like what about, those who are trying to get started, the entry level who are trying to get their foot in the door. Um, because even now the way for I really feel for people who get into this field now, because I think it's even much harder because
Yes.
I've seen job postings for quote unquote entry level positions, and they want you to have at least five years experience with a CISSP. A CISSP is an advanced level certification. That is not an entry level certification.
Really?
Yeah, that's the
Wow.
one that's the one I'm working on right now. So
Oh,
ain't no
wow.
way that's someone who's trying to get in, that should be a requirement. So yeah, it's very different now. So but yeah, but just looking at that, and we want to try to see how we could fit in where we could talk about stories of whether people trying to get into the field, or those who are currently in, and maybe some of the maybe the struggles or issues that they're dealing with, and also too to try to have fun with it as well. I think we try to
Definitely.
educate folks, and for not just for it to sound mundane or boring. Because I think that was another thing too. Like you try to listen, like you want to listen to these podcasts. 'Cause of course, in the field, but then after a while, it's like I can't listen to this, because a lot of times you don't feel like they're talking to you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like for any podcast, any genre, the ones, if you look at the ones that you connected, the ones that you all go back to and listen to every day, you feel like they're talking to you, like like you're actually in the room talking with them and have a conversation. A lot of times with these cyber podcasts that I mentioned, like you don't feel that way. You feel like you're on the outside looking in, so you don't feel included. And so that's what we want to change. We want to make sure everyone felt included. We want to make sure that we even like to highlight people's skills. A couple episodes we've had folks come and do demos for us, and
I love
couple,
demos.
yeah, we had them come and do a live demo on the show. Like, you got the skills, so we'll let you cook. You know what I'm saying? Like, and really, because it's not about us, it's really want to feature, and that, to me, that's what it should be about.
Absolutely.
We want to provide a platform for people to come and show, and especially as talking about how the job market is very difficult, why not put this on your resume? Like, hey, I was featured on
Absolutely.
a cybersecurity podcast and I
Yes.
done X, Y, Z. So that's how I think about it. And I want to make sure that we're providing, as we, be a resource for the community and really enhance it, and also for it to be fun as well.
hmm I love that. I love that. Because I think a lot of people, when they're in the industry, if it's cybersecurity, being humanitarian, a global speaker, or event planning, I think a lot of them just feel like they're just a number. We don't want people to feel like they're just a number, that they make a difference. I like that.
All right.
So you do have a lot of certificates when I was going over your bio, what certificates do you have and how did you obtain those?
So I have I have six certifications total. And then through CompTIA, what they do, like certain certifications, if they have what they call like stackable certifications. So
hmm
what they mean is like they if so for example, if you get the security plus and network plus, you get a stackable certification because you got those two together. So I got A plus, Security plus, Net plus. So they gave me a stackable cert for that. I have the PMP, Project Manager, Professional, the AWS, the AWS Cloud. What else?
And you use all of those in cybersecurity on a daily
Yeah,
basis.
yeah. Oh yeah. No, thank you for that. Remind me. Yeah, the cybersecurity analyst certification as well. But all those. To me, honestly, it's. I mean, I'm proud of the work I've done because it is a lot of work, a lot of time spending to study. And anyone who is in this field knows how, you're using up all your weekends studying for these certs. Um, but there's always I try not to get too caught up on the number. It's really what you're pulling from them, like what you're learning and how
Yes,
you applying it as well. Because I think for like a lot of folks nowadays they think that okay, I'm gonna get the security plus and this is my ticket to get a job, and that's not always the case. I mean, especially, like I said, especially now, the competition is very high. A lot of people gonna have security plus certification. You know what I mean? So, what are you doing to stand out amongst those that are doing that? So, yeah, when I mentor and talk with folks, as you're pursuing these certs, of course, you want to maybe look at the job requirement. If they do require you have a cert, then yes, of course, pursue it. But then um, don't get too hung up on trying to get, a ton of certs, especially if it doesn't apply with the current path of cyber that you're going down. So
absolutely.
you also want to make sure you're getting that hands-on experience as well. There's a lot of resources out there right now.
Hmm.
Like Hack the Box, where Cisco has some resources. Try Hack Me. Actually, we're doing uh, uh, on Fridays. We're doing uh, lab sessions. I call it Friday night labs. So Fridays, within my Discord community, we'll get together and do, like I said, we'll get on Try Hack Me or maybe any other resource, and we just do like an hour of just like lab work. So I mean, because also you want to make sure you're pairing that too. Of course, I think
Hmm.
starting for the service is important, but also make sure you're getting that time to get that hands-on experience as well, because that's gonna make you more well-rounded as a cyber professional. So.
I agree, and that's with anything really. You go out and get
Mhm.
these degrees and certifications, and if you don't have any hands-on experience, which
Yeah,
it
yeah,
makes it crazy to even go and get those degrees and certifications. Makes very sense. Now, I told you when we had initially had the conversation that I wanted to talk about the 2025 shutdown, right?
yeah, yeah. It's
What was that like? I know for me being, a consumer and just being out here in the United States, it affected a lot of people in negative ways, and people are still talking about it.
yeah, yeah. Well, for one, I mean, the shutdown was wild. Working. I mean, I've worked in the government all my adult life. It's not my first time experiencing a shutdown, of course. Um, well, previously the longest one I had that I've gone through was during the first Trump administration.
I remember that
Yeah, so that
one.
was a long one as well. But this one felt different because it felt like it wasn't gonna, like there didn't seem to be any sort of urgency to get it done because like previous shutdowns we've had, and some were technically called a shutdown because it lasts maybe at midnight, but then they would get a resolution maybe a couple hours later. So
Quickly,
technically, we
yes.
did have yeah. But you see, there was an urgency to get it done. This
Hmm.
felt more uh like political gaming type of, you know what I'm saying? Like they're
Right.
using the shutdown to try to get different things done. So yeah, it was it was tough, man. I mean, people were working, trying to work side jobs, or, whether
Hmm.
doing DoorDash or doing some sort of delivery service or whatever it is. I mean, because especially, I mean, granted, a lot of these companies, especially if of course you had to let them know, and you had to provide proof as a government employee at being affected, but
Right.
they were willing to work with you as long as you gave them notice. But but at the same time, it's like, you still have, bills to pay and
Absolutely.
things of that
Yeah,
nature. And
life continues.
then also too, the other side of it is you, there's two different statuses where when it comes to a government shutdown for the employees, you have those who are furloughed, like myself, like so that meaning like you cannot go to work, like just
At all.
so you're not getting paid and do not report to the office. You stop
Oh,
work.
wow.
Then you have then on the flip side of that you have those who are accepted. So that typically that's more like for the like seniors,
Mhm.
um, and maybe and depending on like certain orgs within the agency. And this is not just with NSA, just this is just government period. But it depends on what status you're. So if you're accepted, I mean you still have to report into the office. I mean you're still not getting paid, but you still have because you have a critical role, almost like a nurse, like those who
Mm-hmm.
work in emergency services. Like something happens, you still gotta because you're essential personnel.
Yeah, just
So
like during
it's
COVID time.
right, yeah. So
Yeah.
so think of it like that. So yeah, you're doing all this work, but then you're still not getting paid. So I think honestly that's even worse because you're spending the money your gas
Hmm.
to get to work. And some folks live far. Not everyone is local. So yeah, it was it was very I'd say difficult time. It felt it just made you feel just out of place. Because after a while, at first, it felt like a little break. You get a little,
Hmm.
all right. It's a little baked in, like a free vacation almost. But then as time went on, it's like, all right,
So going
especially
to
when
work.
when you start missing checks, then
That
it's like,
part, because listen,
right. Then
bills
it's
will
like,
not stop.
all right, what are we doing? So so it's like, all right, we got to get this thing back open. But yeah, I think importantly too, especially as a leader, make sure that I'm checking in with my team and just check, make sure that everyone's okay and also their respective families and um, just trying to check in and try to keep the spirits up and things like that. But yeah, but honestly, yeah, I mean, overall, it was a difficult time because I mean, that was just like the icing on the cake. I mean, because from honestly, from day one, when the new administration took office, I mean, he had like what, like 40 executive orders he'd signed and all this stuff that was
Yes,
changing. Yeah, I
pretty
mean, we
quickly.
had beginning of the year, we had to do the DoD um, bullets. We had to do the war bullets. So pretty much like so essentially, everyone in the DoD had to write like, five bullets of like what you did for the week, and if you didn't, you essentially were gonna get fired. I mean, it was like all this stuff, like a lot of stress. Then we had, of course, the deferred resignation.
Hmm.
So I saw people um, taking that. We had a lot of firings, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Our NSA director, General Haw, I mean, wh- honestly, when he was fired, when I heard about that, I remember I'm sitting on my couch at night and I got the notification on my phone and I saw that, yeah, NSA director fired. I'm like, what? It really shook you because for one, he was a great leader. He is a great leader. And for him to go, I was like, I don't know. Because then you have that uncertainty. I think that starts to build, and then from there, because I think he was the biggest domino, at least from the NSA perspective,
Hmm.
that dropped, and then after that, there was a lot more like internal leadership changes, and a lot of them were unexpected. And to me, and this is just my personal opinion, I think maybe because maybe they're getting ahead of it, because maybe they saw that they were going to be targeted next. So it was that type of, well, again, I can't confirm that, but that's just my thoughts. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was just a lot of that, just a lot of the whole year just felt very, and I talk to people too when I talk about this past year. I said if I sum it up one word, it was exhausting. The whole year exhausting. And so then come to the end with the shutdown, that's just the icing on the
Yeah.
cake.
I can
So
imagine it was exhausting for you guys. It was definitely exhausting for us being American
mhm.
citizens. Exhausting. So I can pretty
Yeah.
much imagine what you guys went through. has been a part of
Yeah.
that as well. Now, your belief that cybersecurity future depends on building a global community and of innovative professionals. Tell me more about your belief.
Yeah. I honestly believe that for us to really within cybersecurity for it to be as strong as we want it to be, or sometimes even claim it to be, we need to ensure that we're providing people with the resources that they need so they can, for one, get that education,
Absolutely.
get themselves familiar with the certain tools that are needed. So as I mentioned earlier about, working with my sons, big part of that too is that, my sons, they have cybersecurity classes infused into the curriculum at their
I love
school.
that.
So and I think I think that's a big plus. Because of course for me, I mean what I had like typing, I had typing class to learn how to type, but I mean
Right.
that's pretty much it. Oh well, that's not true. We had computer classes, but it was like
Yeah,
we got to play what was it like remember Oregon Trail?
I do. I do. And it's amazing
We,
how everything has changed over the
yeah.
years. Because they have, what we had over the years, they have more advanced now. It's like they have more
Hmm.
of the digital world now that we didn't have when we were growing up. So that's
I mean,
great.
they got iPads now. I mean, we didn't have no
Listen,
tablets.
that's what I'm saying. The technology is always evolving. They're just
Yeah.
so more far advanced than we were.
I
Because I have
mean,
a
yeah,
10-year-old and she seems like she knows more than me
yeah.
because of, how fast technology and what they have at their fingertips,
Just
just by click.
right. Yeah. Having, quick, immediate access to
Mhm.
information. Um, yeah, it just changed the playing field. So yeah, so when we talk about ensuring that I think that we look at that, ensuring that school curriculums have cybersecurity classes to as we learn. I think honestly that should be one of the essential courses when we talk about like maybe like math and English.
Absolutely.
Cybersecurity should be in it too.
I
I
believe
mean
it.
because I mean if you look at us not look just look at the world now. I mean especially now with the advent of AI and quantum computing and
Whew.
machine learning and everything, it's going to continue to advance. So how are we going to stay up with that? We need to make sure for the next generation that's coming up, that they have the proper resources, the familiarity. We can't let them get to high school and then start introduce it then. Like we need to start when they're young, get them familiar with it, get them used to it. Of course, with boundaries, right? We want to make sure um, we're not make sure they're not abusing it, because of course with anything you want too much of anything can be bad as well, but we want to make sure
Absolutely.
that within the proper boundaries we give them enough to where they can learn and like I said get that familiarity with it, and then so from on a time they get in time to practice, they get in time to really work with it, and that's how they
Mhm.
really develop and really be if we're really really serious about creating a strong cybersecurity workforce. That's how I think that's one of the key elements in doing that is starting from when they're young, getting them out there,
Absolutely.
getting, even when we're talking about doing like like school trips, have them go out to certain cybersecurity organizations and see how they do work for a day and stuff like that. Maybe visit the NSA. That's what I
Yes.
mean. It's like they need to have that exposure to say like, oh man, because and remember I mentioned like for me coming up, I didn't have these resources that we have now, especially when we're talking
Hmm.
about for cybersecurity. So I mean, we need to make sure that that the kids now they have that exposure, they know what's out there, they know what the options are, and when kids talk about what they want to be when they grow up or what they want to do, okay, now they can factor in, okay, maybe I want to be a
Yes.
cyber engineer, maybe I want to work in threat intel, or what I'm saying, like because now they've seen it, they talk to someone who's doing it and they think it's
Hmm.
cool. Okay, now I'm gonna go back and start tinkering and start working with stuff. So yeah, to me that's my belief is doing that. I think we that's achievable if we start them young.
Absolutely. And I'm thinking back, it's like, did we even have cybersecurity back in the day? Like,
No,
I know it's
it
less
was
as
not called.
prevalent as of now. It was what was it called? Something different
No, yeah,
back
it
then?
wasn't even called cybersecurity back then. It was just like just infosec,
See, I don't
but
even remember that.
it or
Okay.
even computer science, but it was yeah. So cybersecurity was not a term or yeah, it wasn't
That's
a
what I
thing.
thought. That's what I
Yeah.
thought. That's what I thought. Very new, very new. Now, you did mention in the early part of our conversation that you founded Talawa Cyber in 2024. What's your vision for that organization?
Yeah, I for me, it's to, and this is really an evolution from what I started
Hmm.
with and it's called the DRJJBMJ Study Hall. So, and with that, it's a study certification group that we have on Discord, on the Discord community, and essentially we have people come in, members come in, and we learn and we study together. We do time blocking, so we do
Hmm.
1 hour time block of studying, and we have a schedule out. So for right now, at least for the sessions that I lead Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. And yeah, for everyone for one to have a safe environment, for everyone to learn and network, and really to be able to, like I said, they work towards different certifications so they can, for whatever reason, whether they're just getting started or they made career, they're trying to level up, or maybe they just want to come through and just keep their skills up. That's another thing too, because sometimes, especially if you are getting maybe in like a leadership role, you're not gonna have the opportunity to work on the technical, get on the
Hmm.
keyboard as much, because you're more in the office, as kind of directing others or leading others to do the work. So you think of it that way. You maybe folks just want to come in and just, like I said, just keep their skills up. So yeah, for me, my vision is to have for one, like a global presence within the cybersecurity community for folks again to come through, to network, to learn, and also develop leaders. I mean, as they get proficient, and especially as those who maybe they pass a cert,
Hmm.
they stay and they want to help others that are coming up. I want to create that. Uh, I guess a ultra network of professionals who feel that they're ready, they're confident, they're confident in what they're doing, and be able to take
Hmm.
that skill set that they learn and use that for the workforce.
Cool. So is that local now? Is it global?
I mean, it's global. I mean, I have
Okay.
folks. I mean, there's a couple of folks that are. I can't remember. I think like maybe India
Okay.
yeah, Africa. We have folks that join in from all over.
That's
But
amazing.
no, yeah, it's no, it's really cool, and again, we just be able to and also with that too, I wanted to be able to use this to maybe to partner with like other cyber organizations to where I
Hmm.
can help it to continue to grow and whether try to work towards any sort of incentives or anything like that as far as because I want to make sure that the members are being taken care of as well.
Of course.
So to look towards maybe like you know vouchers and things like that because as you're trying to sit for these exams, these exams are not cheap. you know
I can
um
imagine. Nothing's
yeah,
cheap anymore anyway.
no, but yeah, that's true too. I mean, everything is going up, but yeah, anything we could do if it's books, vouchers, whatever case, different resources that can help the members as well. So I'm looking to try to work with, try to create a network of other organizations to partner and work with, so that way it provides a extra benefit for the members, so that way they can stay and continue to work and continue to excel in what they're trying to do.
I love it. I love it. Now, I am the executive director of Optics Teacher Training Institute. It's a learning institution out of Liberia. And a lot of my leaders have been asking about cybersecurity. So, I'm coming after you, right, to train a course or
Oh,
two.
hey, so
So,
let's
yeah, I
talk.
guess in the Liberia. So that's amazing. So, I know we'll be getting ready to close out, but is there anything new that you're working on, Dr. Joseph?
Yeah. So one of the things that I guess just recently I was appointed as a board member with Capella University for their School of Business, Technology, and Healthcare Administration. S-
Amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, no, it's cool. I had a conversation with the assistant vice president and well, I'm sorry, the vice president. That was kind of redundant, assistant vice president. Um, and the Capella leadership, and they reached out to me and said, asked if I wanted to join because be able to provide insight from a cybersecurity perspective to help build that school within Capella. So yeah, very honored. And I'm really looking forward to doing some work with them and to be able how I can help as well to continue to help develop the program. Um, and another thing I'm working on, it's still very early. Um, and this is more local, working within Maryland, within PG County or Prince George's County.
Mhm.
Um, we're in the early stages of work of developing an AI task force, um, trying to improve I would say the maybe the knowledge base or um, how AI can help improve our everyday maybe workflows, our everyday lives, how we do different certain things. Also creating an education when it comes to AI. So yeah, so very early with that. I'm still working with other folks that are getting this started and but yeah, I'm just looking forward to working with PG County within Maryland on that as well. So a lot more to come.
I love it. I love it. You know what? Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. You wear many hats, and congratulations
It.
again on that new opportunity. I cannot wait to hear more about that. But there
Thank
you
you.
have it, Dr. Joseph. Thank you again. Guys, so I always like to end with something before we cut off. But my famous motto is everyone has a story. What's yours? Somewhere, someone in the world needs to hear it. Until next time, thank you guys for tuning in with Talks to LaKisha. I am your host, Dr. LaKisha James.
All right. Thank you.